In October 2000, two separate companies, Parbury and FHS, joined together. With the help of consultants from SMT, they implemented a whole new supply chain strategy. The new supply chain design integrated and optimised the functions of both companies. The tool? State-of-the-art supply chain software, SAP and APO.
Before we embarked on the project, we'd probably done a couple of months of research on the business with SMT to identify those areas that we could achieve significant savings.
The areas identified were inventory, occupancy costs, freight and also labour costs.
Inventory has currently achieved our expectations probably 3/4 of the way through the project. Our occupancy costs with regard to the sites that we occupied has been achieved. We're just about there on our labour savings and we're beginning to enhance our service levels.
SAP's advanced planning software, APO, was a key enabler for the project. It has three key components: demand planning, supply network planning, with a production planning and detailed scheduling function as well. These software tools opened up huge opportunities throughout the entire supply chain.
12 months ago, Parbury's approach to managing a supply chain was really to use one set of policies, no matter whether it came from a locally sourced manufacturer here in Australia or whether we in fact purchased the product from overseas. Demand planning allows us to take our historical sales and look at the variability of those historical sales and then project forward. Using the functionality of SNP, which is supply network planning, we're able to determine the amount of safety stock that we should be carrying for each item. Production planning and detailed scheduling actually allows us to manage our manufacturing capacity a lot better than we were able to do in the past. And again, as I'm sure I can understand, when you've got a highly configurable product, a high level of complexity, to have a systems approach to managing that demand and also the flow of those orders through the system is incredibly important. In fact, in the last 12 months, the results which we have achieved through the combined efforts of SAP and APO and R3 and also a consultancy company called SMT, we were able to drive an improvement program, in fact in a very short space of time. When you look at the results which have been achieved to date, in terms of again merging two business together, introducing new functionality within R3 and also implementing APO, we've been able to achieve a reduction of inventory in the order of about 30-35%. Manufacturing throughput has increased and customer service levels have also improved as well, which again is very key to our particular industry.
Although they supplied the same market segment, the two companies had very different product ranges. The team used this fact to create a competitive edge. With integration, customers could now access both product ranges through a single transaction. One-stop supply was introduced to the market.
It was very obvious when we started here that we had an exceptionally strong business supply in the cabinet making trade, but we were going to need to find a way of differentiating ourselves going forward. And to do that we needed to add to the product offer that we were able to supply. The purchase of the FHS business gave us this much wider range of products that allows us to now go to the market with what is very much a complete product offer.
We had 3 sites in New South Wales, one at Auburn, and in fact 2 at Moorebank, which was combined into one, and this one here. Through the SMT project we recognised that our overhead costs, particularly in terms of rent and freight, were outside what they could be or should be. So it was agreed that we, through the integration of the 3 sites, could reduce those overhead levels and still maintain customer service. The layout of the warehouse was fairly crucial right from the early days. We had to first of all understand whether or not we could fit all 3 locations into one, and as we all know, three cans of paint don't go into one, so we had to do a couple of clever things. We had to redisperse the inventory that we had and put that out at branch level. We also had to look at what sort of stock we were keeping and the maximum stock levels in that. Having put that formula together, the warehouse manager, the crew from SMT put together a layout that we see out in the warehouse today. It works well. We are still suffering from a couple of teething problems where we had excess inventory from the days where we didn't have APO controlling our inventory. We'll work our way through that. We also recognised that we needed some additional space, not necessarily in warehousing space, but in actual working space. To do that, we put in an extra 660 square metres of awning space out there. So we've got our trucks receiving and dispatching goods outside the main warehouse area. So the warehouse now is one where we've got some fast pick areas, particularly in the New South Wales inventory side. We've got the bulk stock in what we call central, and we've got our receiving and dispatch and whatnot outside the main building. And it's working well. We've got somewhere to go yet. There's a little bit more to get out of this, but I'm pretty pleased with it. It's working well.
SMT's focused and aggressive supply chain improvement project reduced the implementation time from 3 years to just 12 months. This was possible due to SMT's provision of specific skill sets in 4 areas: supply chain design, expertise in SAP APO software, manufacturing throughput increases, and most importantly, a sound practical knowledge of how business cultures work and change.
By amalgamating 2 businesses and in fact bringing in new systems, new technology, new supply chain techniques, there was a major cultural shift that needed to take place, and I'm pretty pleased to say that over the past 12 months in fact we've been able to achieve that.